Hello my lovely students, how are you? Now when we are traveling واحنا مسافرين انا متأكدة ان انتوا كلكم بتلاحظوا الروت ساينز on the side of the road. الروت ساينز دي زي ايه؟ زي الساينز اللي بنشوفها اللي بتحدد لنا السبيد ليميت، السبيد اللي احنا المفروض نمشي عليه، او الساين اللي بتحدد الديستانس ليفت، وكمان many other signs. الساينز دي بتساعدنا along the way. These signs help us when we are traveling. But do you think these signs can help us to learn benchmark fractions? This is what we learn in lesson 11, benchmark fractions. هنفهم النهارده معنى البنشمارك fractions and how we can make fractions equivalent to the benchmark fractions. But let us first help شريف. تعالوا نساعد شريف في الactivity walking the path in access part on page 37. تعالوا نشوفها مع بعض. Now here in the access part, as you see, okay, here in the access part عرفنا ان الشريف مطلوب منه to place 3 benches. مطلوب منه يحط 3 benches along 1 kilometer walking path in Cairo. كمان مطلوب منه ان هو يحط البنشز at the beginning وفي الميدل space and at the end of the path. That is drawn in front of you. اللي احنا شايفينه الباث اللي شايفينه قدامنا. As you can see, distance is divided into fractions from 0 over 8 اللي هي 0 to 8 over 8 اللي هي represent the whole one. And now I'll give you some time to place the 3 benches on the image found in your school book according to the fractions written in front of you. And then we'll review some of the answers when we get back. And after placing your suggested places, بعد ما حطيتوا بقى البنشز I will also place mine. أنا هحط بقى البنشز بتوعي. الفيرست bench I will put it at the beginning of the path at 0 over 8. يبقى هاجي هنا عند 0 over 8 واحط الفيرست bench بتاعي. Equals طبعا احنا عارفين ان 0 over 8 يعني 0. Okay. Now for the second bench I will place it in the middle of the path at 4 over 8. طب ليه اشمعنى اخترت 4 over 8؟ عشان 4 is half the 8. So I will place the second bench here. طيب 4 over 8 4 half the 8 ده معناه ان احنا دلوقتي in the half او at the half of the distance. So I'll put the second bench here. طيب for the last bench on the walking path هحطه فين؟ هحطه عند 8 over 8. So last bench بتاعي هحطه عند 8 over 8 which represent the whole one. And that being so, we are placed the 3 benches. This is the first one and second one and the third one. At 0, first one and 0, the second one at half of the distance and 4 over 8 or 1 over 2, and the third one at 8 over 8 or the whole one. The fractions represented 0 وhalf و1. طيب الزيرو والهاف وال1 ده اسمهم benchmark fractions. البنشمارك fractions دول popular و very common fractions بتساعدنا to compare fractions. Have any of you tried to identify؟ في حد يقدر يقول لي benchmark fractions تانيين وبنستخدمها في in our life وبتساعدنا؟ Now I asked this question to our friends. سألت ال question ده to our student in my class وفي حد منهم قال لي yes miss I find that 1 over 4 and 3 over 4 are benchmark fractions. على فكرة it's right. We consider these two fractions 1 over 4 و 3 over 4 benchmark fractions وبنستخدمهم كتير قوي in our real life. And now after learning the concept of benchmark fractions تعالوا بقى نبدأ نركز كويس قوي ازاي احدد البنشمارك fractions وكمان ازاي هعمل fractions that are equivalent للبنشمارك fractions as we saw at the start of the lesson in the learning targets. So تعالوا بقى نساعد شريف دلوقتي عشان يحط البنشز بتوعه in the same way we did at the beginning والmiddle وكمان at the end of the walking path in the activity continuing down the path in build page 38. تعالوا نشوف كده مع بعض. Okay. Now when solving هنركز كويس قوي على البنشمارك fractions اللي بتشرح لنا ال places where شريف will place the benches. In problem number 1 here, as you see, the walking path is divided into 12 parts. هنلاقي إن متقسم الباث ده ل 12 parts, starting من 0 over 12 يعني 0 and ending with 12 over 12 يعني whole 1. Of course, it's very easy to identify the beginning والend. The beginning اللي هي 0 over 12 والend بتاعي اللي هو 12 over 12. Okay, now what's left اللي فاضل لنا ان احنا نحدد الميدل والدينومينيتور بتاعي 12. What do you think the denominator will be؟ تفتكروا خلاص احنا عارفين ان الدينومينيتور بتاعي 12 بس تفتكروا دلوقتي الدينومينيتور بتاعي هيبقى كام؟ Yes exactly 6. طب ليه 6؟ عشان ال 6 half the 12. So 6 over 12 this is the middle distance, right? So the 3 spots اللي شريف هيحط فيهم البنشز هيبقوا ايه؟ يس اول بنش هيحطه عند 0 over 12 والسكند بنش هيحطه عند 6 over 12 اللي هي في نص الديستنس بتاعي واللاست بنش هيحطه عند 12 over 12 اللي هي represent the whole one. يبقى this is the beginning, the middle and the end. And now I'll give you some time to find the beginning, end and middle of problem number 2. And then I will show you my students' answers to the same question. أهم حاجة is to find out how many spots the path is divided into. Now, after you have finished the problem, تعالوا بقى نشوف how your friends answered the same problem. طيب لو بصينا هنا هنلاقي إن الباث divided into 10 spots متقسم ل 10 spots starting from 0 over 10 to the one whole اللي هو 10 over 10. طيب أكيد البيجيننج بتاعي هيبقى إيه؟ 0 over 10 والend point بتاعتي هتبقى عند 10 over 10. يبقى أنا فاضل لي دلوقتي أحدد الميدل point. So, how do we find it؟ هنلاقيها ازاي؟ Of course we'll find half ال 10 كام؟ هو half ال 10 كام؟ 5 يبقى 5 over 10 هي دي الميدل ديستانس بتاعتي. So, yes, it is equivalent fraction. So, the first one will be on 0 over 10, the second one at 5 over 10, the last one at 10 over 10. And after we have finished these two examples, that was the middle spot as 4 over 8. كان عندي middle spot 4 over 8 وكمان 5 over 10 وكمان 6 over 12. طيب تفتكروا الفراكشنز دي equivalent fraction to to half؟ طيب take a look at the numerator والdenominator. بصوا كده على النومينيتور والdenominator. في حد ملاحظ relationship between them؟ Yes, the number of the numerator is half the number in the denominator. هنلاقي إن 4 half ال 8 وال 5 half ال 10 وكمان ال 6 half ال 12. طب if you want to identify لو عايزين نحدد any benchmark fraction equivalent للhalf النومينيتور لازم يبقى half ال denominator. طيب بس أنا دلوقتي if you want to find it هعمل إيه؟ What should we do؟ I will divide the denominator by 2. ده معناه ان انا هستخدم الdivision. Now have to keep in your mind ان ال equivalent fractions the numerator and denominator increase by the same factor. ده هيساعدنا كويس قوي ان احنا نفهم how to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators in the upcoming lessons. And now تعالوا بقى نساعد شريف in his last mission in our lesson in problem number 3 page 39. تعالوا كده نشوف problem number 3. Here in this job, the path is divided, it is 2 kilometers long. مطلوب مننا to place the benches every half kilometer. كل half kilometer هحط bench from the beginning till I reach the end. طيب لو بصينا على الباث كده اللي قدامنا هنلاحظ ان it is divided into fractions. الدينومينيتورز بتاعه 4. كل الدينومينيتورز هنا 4 till I reach 2 kilometers. Because Sharif wants to place the benches every half kilometer. اتفقنا ان شريف هيحط bench كل half kilometer. And the denominators of the fractions we have are 4. طيب الفراكشن equivalent to half is what? الفراكشن equivalent to half is 2 over 4, right? طيب ليه 2 over 4؟ عشان ال 2 half ال 4. تعالوا كده نحط البنشز together. Of course we will place ال first bench هحطه at the beginning يعني 0. يبقى هنا هحط ال first bench بتاعي عند ال 0 at the beginning. طيب السكند bench هحطه فين؟ عند ال half اللي هو عند 2 over 4. يبقى this is the first bench, this is the second bench. وبعدين الثيرد one هحطه فين؟ we are moving by 2 over 4 أو half. يبقى لغاية ما أوصل ل 4 over 4, right؟ أنا كل half كيلومتر بحط bench. Then I will move and put the next one 6 over 4 and the last bench I will put it at 2 kilometer اللي هو at the end of the path. Okay, يبقى now let's start to the connect part on page 39 in your school book. Here we are asked مطلوب مننا to explain the strategies and methods we use to find the equivalent fractions of the benchmark fractions. This is what we will do when playing the mixed up fraction game. But first let's find out how to play this game. هقول لكم هنلعب الجيم دي ازاي. Okay, هيبقى عندنا group of benchmark fractions in front of us اللي احنا شايفينها. Here are group of benchmark fractions اللي هي 0 وhalf 1 1 and half and 2. كل دول benchmark fractions. وعندنا كمان cards فيها different fractions. Okay, now I will find fraction أو هاخد fraction من الكارد ده وهشوف this fraction is equivalent to which one of these benchmark fractions. تعالوا كده let's start to do it. Okay, let's bring the cards. Okay, and here's the first card I have. Look, it is 4 over 4. طب أنا عايزة دلوقتي أشوف 4 over 4 equivalent to which one of this benchmark fractions. مش كلنا عارفين إن 4 over 4 when the denominator up equals the denominator down, it means it is equals to 1, right? So I will make that 4 over 4. I will write 4 over 4 in the 1. It is equivalent to whole 1, right? Okay, let's move or take another card. Look, yes, you will say this is, I have no numbers, but it is model. If you see this model, you will see that it is shaded, 3 parts shaded out of 6, يعني 3 over 6. Okay, يبقى who can tell me it is equivalent to 0 ولا half ولا 1 ولا 1 and half ولا 2? Of course, 3 over 6 يعني half, right? 3 is half the 6, so I will write here 3 over 6. Let's take another card. Look here. As you see here, 0 over 8. It means what? Yes, of course, 0 over 8 when the denominator is 0, so the answer is equal to 0. So I write here the fraction 0 over 8. And let's move to the last one, which is 2 over 4. Who can tell me 2 over 4 is equivalent to which fraction? Yes, I hear you saying that 2 is half the 4. So 2 over 4 equals to half. So I will write this fraction here equivalent to the half. And now after we play this game all together, you can now play it the same game with your friends in your class and with the help of your teacher. And now we reached the practice part and check your understanding, which you can access by scanning the code on the screen that directs you to the digital copy of your math textbook on the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. And now, let's solve the problems all together. Here, as you see, in problem number 1, we have a table with fractions. مطلوب مننا to place each fraction on the number line. And see which fraction is closest. هنشوف الفراكشن ده أقرب حاجة ليه 0 ولا half ولا 1. طيب الفيرست fraction اللي عندي 2 over 4. اوكي طيب لو بصينا كده على النمبر لاين هنلاقي ان النمبر لاين divided into 4 parts. طب اشمعنى 4 parts؟ عشان الدينومينيتور بتاعي here 4. So I will count from 0. أنا عايزة 2 parts out of 4. I will count from 0. يبقى 0 1 and 2. يبقى here I reach 2 over 4. Right? So what should I do here? Yes, what do you think this mark is closest to? المارك دي أقرب حاجة ليها إيه؟ 0 ولا half ولا 1? Yes, as you see here, this mark in the middle, right? So it is equals to half. So I will check or make right at the half. تعالوا نشوف the next fraction. The next fraction I have 1 over 6. يعني 1 part out of 6. طيب النمبر line أكيد divided into 6 parts, right? Why? Because the denominator زي ما احنا شايفين is 6. So I will count 1 part out of 6. So I will put mark here and this is 1 over 6. طيب تفتكروا 1 over 6 أقرب benchmark fraction ليها إيه؟ 0 ولا half ولا 1? As you can see, it is very close to 0. 1 over 6 أقرب حاجة ليها is 0. So I'll put right under the 0 here. تعالوا نشوف بقى the third one. Here I have 5 over 8. يعني 5 parts out of 8. طبعا احنا عارفين ان number line divided into 8 parts عشان الدينومينيتور بتاعي 8. So let's count the 5 parts. 1 2 3 4 5. So I'll put here the mark which is 5 over 8. طيب تفتكروا ال 5 over 8 ايه أقرب benchmark fraction ليها؟ 0 ولا half ولا 1? Yes, we know that, or you can see 5 over 8 is very close to what? Very close to the half, right? Here is the half. So 5 over 8 very close to the half. So I will check or write at the half table, at the half column. Okay, تعالوا نشوف بقى the last one which is 4 over 10. زي ما احنا شايفين 4 over 10, it means that the number line divided into 10 parts because the denominator here is 10. طيب أنا عايزة أعمل 4 parts out of 10. تعالوا كده let's count all together. 1 2 3 and 4. So I'll put my mark here 4 over 10, right? طب أنا عايزة أعرف ال 4 over 10 دي closest to which one? Yes, the mark is very close to the middle here, right? So I will put right at the half. And now let's move to problem number 2. Problem number 2 هنلاقيها a little bit different. Why? Because we will match the fraction with the equivalent benchmark fraction. Which means equivalent يعني equal fractions. طيب some benchmark might have more than one fraction that matches. The benchmark fractions in this problem زي ما احنا شايفين ال benchmark fractions اللي هي 0 و half و 1 1 and half and 2 هم دول ال benchmark fractions بتوعنا. Let's start with the fractions one by one all together and see their equivalent benchmark fractions. أول fraction عندي 2 over 4. طيب إيه ال equivalent benchmark fraction بتاعته over 4؟ طيب because النومينيتور 2 half الدينومينيتور أو 2 half ال 4 right؟ Okay, so 2 over 4 equals what؟ احنا قلنا 2 half the 4 يبقى equals 2 half. يبقى I match 2 over 4 with the half. طيب what about 0 over 3؟ Of course 0 over 3 على طول equals to 0 right؟ Because the denominator is 0 يبقى the fraction equals to 0. So I will match it with 0. طيب next here I have 6 over 4 يعني 6 fourths. طيب هي 6 over 4 مش معناها ان انا عندي 4 fourths and 2 4. يعني 6 over 4 دي ممكن اعملها 4 over 4 plus 2 over 4 right. هي مش 4 fourths معناها whole 1 و 2 4 2 fourths معناها half. يبقى this one equivalent to 1 and half right. I'll match it to 1 and half. And then here I have fraction 8 over 4. 8 over 4, 8 divided 4 equals what? Yes, 8 divided 4 equals 2, so I will match it with 2. The next one here I have 9 over 18. طبعا احنا عارفين ان 9 half the 18, so I will match 9 over 18 with the half, right? Okay, now here I have 7 over 7. Of course this one is very easy for you to do it. أول ما ألاقي النومينيتور زي الدينومينيتور بالظبط يبقى now I know that it is whole 1. So I'll match it with the whole 1. تعالوا نشوف the next one. Here I have 15 over 10. تعالوا كده نفكر فيها. هي مش 15 over 10 ممكن أخليها 10 over 10 plus 5 over 10. وكلنا عارفين ان 10 over 10 يعني whole 1 و 5 over 10 ال 5 half ال 10 معناها ان انا ممكن اكتبها half. So 15 over 10 equivalent to 1 and half. I will match it with 1 and half. تعالوا نشوف the next fraction 6 over 3. هي مش 6 divided 3 equals 2, so I will match it with 2. Now the last fraction, which is 14 over 7. Of course, 14 divided 7 gives me 2, so the equivalent one is 2. And now that being so, we are able to identify, خلاص كلنا نعرف to identify the benchmark fractions زي 0 و half و 1. وكمان we identified quarter and 3/4 and 2 as well. We were also able خلاص عرفنا كمان ازاي نعمل fractions equivalent to the benchmark fractions, and these were our lessons target. هو ده التارجت بتاعنا today. Thank you so much for your watching and see you next lesson.